Recently, I haven't been as strong as I'd want to be, as I usually feel I am. So I decided to make this Devo on what helps me when it does feel rough. So I decided to make a Devo on being grateful for the little things. And we read in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16. A lot of us know this verse, 16 and 17 and 18. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. So we read about the importance of being grateful. And, one that we always remember and repeat, James chapter 1, verse 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, sorry. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. So we see this one all the time. We talk about it pretty often because as Christians you have trials and tribulations. Now, I'm not saying don't be grateful for the trials and tribulations. I'm saying remember almost the opposite side of that thought. Remember the things that God freely provides us that we take for granted or we forget about. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, we read, therefore, whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all in the glory of God. So it just makes me think of all the things that we let get in our way or we let put us down, and we almost victimize ourselves. Why is this happening to me, or why am I put in this situation? All these different things. We make ourselves a victim because we forget about all the things God does for us. I know I'm guilty of that, especially more recently. But why is it so important to be grateful for all these little things? And the conclusion I came to when I asked myself that was, when we're put in these trials or we have these tribulations, you got to care to push forward. And if you're not grateful, you don't care. If you're weak, it's because you're not grateful. You forget about all the things God does for you, and you focus on this one thing that's in your way. This one thing that has happened, or that's your problem. And you forget that God clothed us, right? Genesis 3:21, and He feeds us. Matthew 6:26, and He shelters us. Psalms 4:8, and He gives us air to breathe. Job 33:4. He gave us a will of our own. Deuteronomy 30, verse 19. But a lot of us want to focus on, a verse that it made me think of, Job 38:41. Job 38:41. Who provides food for the raven when its young ones cry to God and wander about for lack of food? And you can read this verse out of context and see almost a negative side to this. Hey, God abandoned this bird. You can put yourself in this shoe. God has abandoned me. Who's doing this for me? Who's doing that? and you're not looking at all that he's given you, right? All the verses that I just said that mention what he does for us that we forget, that we take for granted. And you focus on a verse like this, who provides? You question it, you feel abandoned. But then you remember, Matthew 20, verse 28. It reads, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. I mean, if you just focused on all of the things God gives you, big and small, and this one's a big one, but all these other ones I said that we consider small, right? Air to breathe, a thought, a mind that can reason for ourselves, the will to choose. All these little things you could think of, clothes, food to eat. And if you can be grateful for these things, you won't stray. Why? Because you'll care, because you'll want to serve God, you'll want to please him, because you'll understand all he's done for you, the opportunity he's given you, right? This last one, giving his life a ransom for many. Give us an opportunity to go to heaven when, we didn't deserve it in the first place. And nobody on earth has the will, the strength, the power to do anything similar for anybody. We're only worth anything because he made us worth something. And we forget that a lot of times. We focus on, this happened, I'm the victim. And it's just not the case. We have everything going for us. God is always on our side. And if we focus on the bad, it'll consume us. So I just wanted to make a little Devo tonight on remembering to be grateful for the little things. If anybody is having trouble, you're feeling weak just like me, you can come up and we can pray for you. We can help you. I know the church is one of our greatest tools, our defenses, right? Each other. And we don't need to be embarrassed to lean on one another. If you need anything, you need to come up for any reason, I invite you to come while we stand and while we sing.